So I think we should start with acid reactions. So in acid reactions, there are three different types of reactions. One is called neutralization. Neutralization reaction is when a acid plus base react to form salt and water. This salt is not NaCl, so it's not sodium chloride. This is like whatever's left over after you do the reaction. So I'll give an example. NaOH plus HCl equals to H2O plus NaCl. So, by the way, okay, let me switch this around because then it'll be easier. So obviously, HCl is an acid, so if I write something else, then you might get confused. So we have our water, this is our base, and this is the acid. All bases have an oxide with it. That's how you know that this is a acid-base reaction, because a base will have an oxide. Oxide is a polyatomic ion, and it's OH minus, that's hydroxide. So this is sodium hydroxide, and this one is hydrogen hydrochloric acid. And all acids will have a hydrogen with it. It produces hydrogen basically. So this is the salt, because this is whatever's left over. So if you see there's an acid-base reaction, first you want to form the water. After you form the water, whatever's left over should be the salt. Just in case, I'll also teach this one as well. So when hydrochloric acid, there's also hydrochloric acid in our stomachs, and when people drink bicarbonate soda, it dissolves into water to neutralize, but CO2 also builds up. So then the equation becomes, I'll show you guys a different equation. So this is when bodies HCl. When normally this type of things happens, you will take an antacid, which contains aluminium hydroxide or magnesium hydroxide, and it neutralizes the acid and produces CO2. Okay, wait. So first, when it builds up, I'll show you. That would be HCl plus NaHCO3, which equals to NaCl plus obviously H2O, and because it produces CO2. Yeah. And then you will take your antacid, and then after you have your antacid, this is the reaction. There's always a water. Okay, yeah, so this is what happens after antacid. I have another random one that I'll also give, because if your exams ask for an example, you can just give like these ones. So I've got so pause the video and I want you to actually figure out in this reaction which one's the salt base water, and salt. Not salt, sorry, acid, base, water, salt. And then take a pause and I'll tell you. So this one is the base. It has hydroxide, hydrogen, which means this is, what am I writing? This is the acid. This is the salt because obviously this one has H2O, which means it's water. So this is another neutralization reaction. This is double displacement, which you guys might know, but if you don't know, I will be explaining it later on. Okay, so this is the neutralization part. I'm going to show it down here. So next one we're doing is acid and metal. This one's very simple. It's just acid plus metal equals to hydrogen plus salt. So when acid and metal reacts, it produces hydrogen and a salt. It's pretty easy to remember. An example is hydrochloric acid plus magnesium equals to magnesium chloride plus hydrogen. So let's just swap these around. So this is our metal, acid, hydrogen, salt. That's all you pretty much need to know for acid and metal. Now we are going to do acid and carbonate. For acid and carbonate, the reaction is acid plus carbonate equals to water plus carbon dioxide plus salt. Just remember all acid reactions contain salt. Yep, they all contain salt. Acid carbonate contains water. Neutralization also contains water. Acid metal just has hydrogen, and acid carbonate has carbon dioxide. So an example for this is so the actual one for carbonate is 2 minus. Yeah, just remember that.